Now I want to look at another type of coin problem, and this is one that involves two people. And so we're still going to use that same formula we had before, number times the value of the coin equals the total value. And here's the kind of problem I'm talking about. Suppose that Liz has a pile of dimes and Vito has a pile of quarters. Liz has 36 more dimes than Vito has quarters. If Liz gives Vito 6 dimes, then they have the same amount of money. How much money do they have together? So this problem is, at first appearance, is a little tricky. There's two different types of coins, and then we also have one person giving another person money. How do we account for that? So my advice is to break it into two parts, a before and an after. So first we'll look at before Liz gives Vito 6 dimes. So we're going to ignore the part where it says Liz gives Vito 6 dimes and they have the same amount of money. We'll deal with that later. First, we're just going to look at where Liz has 36 more dimes than Vito has quarters. And to do that, we're going to use the chart that we've used before. And I'm going to let D be the number of dimes and let Q be the number of quarters. And so when we fill out the chart, we need to decide, do we want to write it in terms of dimes or in terms of quarters? And you can do either one, doesn't matter. In this case, I'm going to write everything in terms of quarters. So that would be a Q here for the number of quarters. So now to get the number of dimes, if we read up here, it says Liz has 36 more dimes than Vito has quarters. So that means if I take the number of quarters and I add 36 to it, that should give me the number of dimes. And I don't know anything about the total number of coins, so I can ignore this part right here. The value is easy. A dime is 10 cents, and a quarter is 25 cents, and don't need to use this. And the total value, I can just multiply them together. So I have 10 times Q plus 36, and then I have 25Q. And I don't know the total value, so I'll just put an X there. Okay, so this is pretty much all we can do with the before scenario. Now let's look at after Liz gives Vito 6 dimes. So 6 dimes, well, each dime is 10 cents. 6 dimes would be 60 cents. So in terms of cents, Liz is giving Vito 60 cents, and that's really what we care about here. So I'm going to just rewrite that here because that's really what we care about, 60 cents. Okay. So this 10 times Q plus 36, that was the number of dimes that Liz had. So we have 10 times Q plus 36, but remember that she's giving away 60 cents, so we have to subtract 60 from that. And after she does that, she has the same amount of money, equal to the amount of money that Vito now has. So now Vito had 25Q. So this was what he had, but now he has gained 60 cents because Liz gave him 60 cents. All right, now all we have to do is just solve this equation. So I'm going to distribute the 10, so I get 10Q plus 360 minus 60, and that equals 25Q plus 60. So far, so good. And then I have 360 minus 60. That's going to be 300, so I can make that 10Q plus 300 equals 25Q plus 60. All right. And now I can subtract 60 from both sides. So I would get 10Q, 300 minus 60 is 240. And then that equals 25Q. I'm almost done here. And then I can subtract 10Q from both sides. So I get 240 equals, and 25Q minus 10Q is 15Q. And then I divide both sides by 15. 240 divided by 15 is 16. And so that is the number of quarters. To get the number of dimes, well, the number of dimes was the number of quarters plus 36. So that's just 16 plus 36. And that gives us 52. All right. Now the question asks, how much money do they have together? So we need to figure out how much money this is. So we would have, let's see, 16 quarters. So that's 16 times 25 cents there. And then 52 dimes. So that's 52 times 10. And if you do this out on a calculator, you end up getting 920. So that means that together they had $9.20.